On the region's motorways this morning after a man died following a dramatic 100-mile-an-hour police chase on the M6.
The motorway was closed for 11 hours. The chase began when a car was deliberately driven at a woman in Blackpool last night.
Well, Ian Haslam is at Standish, close to where the man died, while crossing the motorway on foot. So, Ian, what more can you tell us?
Well, Annabelle, things are back to normal here close to junction 28 of the M6, but it was a far different story less than 24 hours ago, as you say. Here's what we know so far. Details have been coming in to us throughout the lesser part of the afternoon. We now know that a woman was deliberately hit and injured by a car on Montague Street in Blackpool at around 9 o'clock last night. Minutes later, a police pursuit began of the car, which was a grey Ford Fiesta. Now, that then took them to Preston New Road, where officers tried to stop the man with a stinger, but then he tried to run over one of the police officers who wasn't injured in that. The car then made its way onto the M55, and it then came across a police vehicle, a police car, a BMW X5, which it eventually ended up forcing off the road. Again, thankfully, none of the police officers were injured in that. It then made its way to the M6 and hit a Ford Mondeo. Again, a motorist uninjured by that. The car then pulled up on the M6 on the hard shoulder here close to Charnock Richard, where the driver got out by foot, made his way across the motorway, and then was hit by a car coming in the opposite direction and was pronounced dead at the scene. We've had a quote tonight from Sergeant Gareth Hill of Lancashire Police's Road Policing Unit, in which he says the manner of the driving during this incident was reckless in the extreme, and it's only a matter of good fortune that no one else was killed or seriously injured.
Well, it was all very dramatic, Ian, and it also had a knock-on effect for thousands of motorists.
Indeed, Annabelle, I've been speaking to people. In fact, one man said it took him 2.5 hours to get from Liverpool to Manchester this morning, which just about sums things up. I think you've got some pictures now showing the scene of junction 8 of the M62 at 9 o'clock this morning, which is virtually at a standstill, certainly much heavier than normal. It's all meant a very busy morning for those in charge of bringing the information to people across the region via BBC TV and radio.
The closure extended into the morning rush hour. There were stories of it taking 2.5 hours for people to get to work. Our speed sensors were showing us that journeys that should take about 20 minutes were taking at least double that on some A roads approaching the Standish and Leyland areas.
Well, I managed to speak to some of the many people that were caught up in the tailbacks this morning, and here's what they had to say to me.
I think it delayed us by about an hour.
And the traffic was horrendous, and everywhere we were stationary for at least half an hour.
My daughter was taking photographs with a mobile phone to show her boss that it was really bad, and she was running an hour late.
So that's what motorists had to say after a morning of congestion on the region's roads. Lancashire Police have confirmed that the investigation is now underway by the Independent Police Complaints Commission into the incident last night.
Ian, thanks very much. Ian Haslam reporting for us there.
Let's take a look at some of the other stories making the news.